You're good to go.
Sorry, but there's no introduction music.
A quick introduction. So it's Georgia from Carney's community. For those that don't know about Carney's community, we're a charity based down in Battersea, working with young people that have been affected by crime, disabilities, mental health issues, special education needs, and we use a combination of boxing fitness sessions, long-term, consistent and unconditional support with empathy, and engage a number of different people in the community. Apologies, we've got trains going over the top of us, we haven't been able to stop them. We're not important enough. But today's video is, we're starting off a new project called Carney's Conversations. The purpose of this is for us to interview ex-participants and people who are inspirational, so that some of our young people can see that there's other people who've come from similar backgrounds to themselves and have been able to achieve and move forward and make a lot out of their own lives. So for our first interview, we've been lucky enough to have Mr. Stormzy come. Right, so we get started. So the first question I have for you is, what was your upbringing like? Sort of looking at what challenges you had, but also what support you had, whether there was that one person that was a big support to you.
So I grew up in Norbury, down the road from Fortney. So I used to run around in Fortney. That was like my kind of stomping ground. But I grew up in Norbury, like Norbury boy. In a house of 5 of us, me, my mum, my 2 big sisters, my little brother, and yeah, I grew up with we didn't have a lot of money at all. Like, so I grew up in like very working class background. I remember I used to take all my sister's clothes. Luckily for me, my big sister was a tomboy, so luckily for me, I could go and take her clothes, and new trainers were never a thing for me. Like school trips were a myth. So yeah, my mum was working 2 to 3 jobs a time. She was a cleaner, dinner lady. So yeah, we didn't have much growing up at all. We didn't have anything growing up, to be fair. So, but what we did have was love. We had God. I grew up in the church, so my mum always used to take us to church on Sunday, and I was blessed to have like a very, very supportive mum who, like, as much as she was always trying to make ends meet. So as much as we weren't financially stable and that money was a big issue, I had mum who really believed in me and really she really believed in me, and she really had a lot of faith in me, and my sisters too. So yeah, and my big sister's like my proper hero. So she used to look after me and I used to look up to her a lot. So yeah, that was my upbringing.
So financially you didn't have a lot.
Yeah, nothing. Yeah, nothing.
With regards to emotional support.
Yeah.
Solid sort of base for that.
Yeah, we had emotional support, but it's funny because looking back, it was like we never used to sit down and have dinner together. Like that never happened. Like the whole flipping, I don't know, 19, 20 years I lived at home. Like we never sat down to have dinner, but it was love. Like we all loved each other, and like my mum always. So luckily I was academically gifted, so my mum that made my mum have a lot of faith in me, and she always kind of knew that hopefully one day I would achieve something. Yeah.
And do you ever get any sort of trouble at school, out in the community?
Yeah, I used to get in a lot of trouble, but luckily for me, so at school I used to get in a lot of trouble, but the one thing that kind of I had leeway because I was I did well in school, so I got good grades, and I was always at top of a lot of my classes, so that allowed me to be a little shit. I was allowed to I wasn't allowed to, but do you know what I mean? I played the fine line of making sure I got good grades and good results, but yeah, I was quite naughty. And out on the roads as well, we used to get up to all sorts. Like looking back at it, it's almost like being like little Asbo antisocial kids and that doing the same old shit that like I guess like a lot of kids out on the streets would do. That was just like lifestyle. So even back then, it didn't feel like we was being particularly bad. It just felt like this is what we done. So yeah, like I used to get in trouble. I used to get arrested like every other flipping week. But yeah, I had to grow out of that. Yeah.
When did you go out of that?
I grew out of it when I was around about 20 years old, which is quite early, thank God. Like now that I look back at it, like that's quite an early age. It depends on how you look at it, but I thought that was a good age to kind of like get my stuff together and like kind of sort myself out.
And has it ever come back to bite you? Because I know for a lot of the guys that we're working with, they might have made some mistakes when they're younger, but as adults, it's still being held against them.
Yeah. So with me, luckily, it didn't come back to bite me because I managed to get an apprenticeship, and then after my apprenticeship, I was straight into music. So, like, there wasn't an opportunity for it to come back and bite me. But yeah, it didn't. What it did do, it ended up. I feel like it kind of puts a full start on your life skills. So, for example, there's lots of things that I grew up thinking was okay and normal, that as I broke out of like my bad habits, I started noticing, okay, that it's like my bad habits came back to bite me. So for example, a lot of us are from areas where if someone's like talking to you a certain way or like squaring up to you, you're used to fighting, or you're used to, do you know what I mean? You're used to like being very confrontational. And then what I learned as I was growing up, I was like, in the real world, in society, you're not allowed to do that. Like for example, like if I say, oh George, you're this, you're that, you can't just hit me. Do you know what I mean? And that's something that we grow up thinking, yeah, right, you chat, I'll hit you for it, like, or you done this, I'll fight you for it, or you, and it becomes so habitual and it becomes like who we are. And then I learned quite quickly that all those bad habits aren't gonna get me nowhere. Do you know what I mean? Like even I used to like, you just kick off. Like sometimes you get a bad temper. Like I just kick off and I say a bad temper ain't gonna get you nowhere in the real world. It's literally just gonna get you arrested. Like when we was kids, like and there was a time I remember I was driving. I think I was dropping my mum to work, and the bus driver cut me off, and like he was chatting out his window, and I remember I parked up the car, and I was walking over to him, and like I was walking over to like do something to him, and I remember my mum just screaming at me like, and then that was one of the moments where I thought, hang on, like flipping it, you can't just do that, like you can't just go and put your hands on someone, like you're not. That's you can't do that. You just get arrested for it. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I learned that bad habits that we learn when we're young will come back to bite us if we're not careful. So we got to kind of like grow out of them.
And you said you've had your academics that help you progress. What about other friends of yours coming up in a similar situation? Who might not have been as academic? Are there any of your friends who've really progressed without the academics, or the people that really struggled because they didn't have the academics?
Both. So I've had friends who have really struggled. They've gotten to a later stage in their life and noticed that like a lot of the things that they might have like taken for granted in school, like getting good grades and all of that, has come back to bite them when trying to get jobs or whatnot. And then there's some people who, despite that, have managed to use all their other skill sets and all the other things that they've learned to make up for the grades that they didn't get in school. So yeah, I've seen both sides of it. Like I've seen people go get apprenticeships and learn a trade. I've seen people get into business. I've seen people just stay stuck and like they've allowed what happened in school, what happened in college, the lack of education there to keep them stuck, do you know what I mean? And it is difficult, do you know what I mean? But to anyone out there to people out there who have got the grades, well done, and use that to better yourself. And for the people who haven't, know that, trust me, that's what's done is done. What you got to do now is figure out how to become skilled or become an expert in what you want to do, or learn a trade, or learn something, or just focus on something. And it's never ever too late. I always feel like you can't cry over spilled milk, innit? Like, if you got good grades, you got good grades. If you didn't, you didn't. Like, so wherever you're at now, you owe it to yourself to figure out how to chase your dreams. You know.
What do you think of the current education system? Do you think it's set up? Do you think it's a fair system? Do you think it's a useful system, relevant to?
I think, of course, there can always be improvements. I think what's got to happen now is that what we've learned over the years, like just by research and the people who overlook the education system, is that people learn differently, and people, do you know what I mean? Like, people learn differently. Like, it's like I was academically gifted. That doesn't make me better than someone who, for example, like, even being academically gifted, sometimes that's just knowing how to take a test. Like, actually, like, knowing the skill set how to take a test. It doesn't mean that I'm some flipping genius compared to you. It just means that I'm better at answering tests than you. You might be you might have an incredible brain that's better suited elsewhere. Do you know what I mean? So I think that's where the education system can probably do some improvement. Understanding that not everyone's good with a pen and paper in the test room. Some people's brains are flipping experts in other areas of life, and I think they need to start pushing people into their lanes.
It's about, like you said, there's different ways of learning.
And I've always hated the idea of, like, the fact that this person got A stars means they're so much more of a prospect than someone who didn't, because it's just a different way of learning, isn't it? Like, thank God that I knew how to do that, but that doesn't make me any better than anyone who can't do that, because they're going to be so much more talented and skilled and smarter than me in so many different areas of life and things, and the education system just hasn't helped them and nurtured them there. So yeah, I think that's where they've got to start understanding that education is a broad thing. People's brains are different. The way people learn is different. The way people soak in information is different. So we got to start catering to everyone else, and not just the people like myself who are flipping good at remembering shit from a textbook and flipping spilling it back on test
data. Some of the most intelligent people we work with, but they don't do well at school, or they don't learn in the right sort of way at school, or their intelligence isn't recognised.
Exactly,
And then they're kicked out, and then their life chances drop massively. And I mean, one of the examples where we see it over and over again, like, young people want to make a bit of money, so they go to the shops, they buy multi-packs of sweets and crisps, they go to school, sell it in the playground, literally, they're excluded.
Yeah. And really and truly, that's a whole skill set. That should be embraced. I don't think that should be, like, punished.
Exactly.
I think that should be embraced. But yeah, I think that's where the education system goes wrong a lot of the time. They make people who aren't, because even being academic, so what? That's not that's one area of, like, I don't know what the right language here to use is, but academic is one thing. There's so many other brilliant things you can be in it, and a lot of the time they make people who aren't academic feel redundant, and that's you can look at billionaires, millionaires, businessmen, and they're not all academic. Do you know what I mean? That's, some of them, like, even I'm sure Richard Branson's like a good, like, he's like one of the best examples of, like, someone who wasn't good at tests, but he's got a brilliant mind, and he, like, thank God he managed to figure it out. Like, but how many Richard Bransons have been overlooked because they weren't good at a test? Do you know what I mean, in school? Like, so yeah, I think that's where education needs to stop making people who flipping aren't good at tests feel redundant, because they're not. Do you know what I mean? They're going to be talented and skilled and brilliant in so many other ways. That's just not their thing, innit? Same way, loads of things aren't my thing. I'm just lucky that the education system caters for what I'm good at. Do you know what I mean? So yeah.
So you spoke to me in the past about one of the things that one of the factors that you think really has helped you become successful is your mindset.
Yeah.
Can you go into that a bit more? What do you mean by that?
Yeah, so I've always said my mindset thank God, I always say God, like, and God most importantly for me, like, I don't know if anyone out there's got faith, but I always say God is at the centre of everything I do. And that's that's the integral, that is the 100% reason why I'm where I'm at. But also mindset, like, I don't know where it came from. I don't know whether it came in primary school, whether it came in secondary school, whether it came from my mum, I don't know where it came from, but I've always had this thing where it's almost like a ridiculous sense of self-assurance where, like, I just, from a young age, for whatever reason, I just always thought whatever I wanted to do, I can do it. I've just always thought that. I thought, okay, if I wanted to be a doctor, yeah, I could do that. Like, do you know? So it's a very strong sense of confidence, like, which over the years I've noticed that's a blessing. Like, it's not everyone has that strong sense of confidence. But what I always say is, I encourage everyone to go find that confidence, because why not? Like, I'm not any better than anyone else. Like, anyone that you ever look up to is no different to you. We all flipping do the same things. We all, like, have the same emotions. We have the same bad habits. Like, so I always say, get a confidence where you feel like you can do whatever you want and understand that it's feasible. So, say if you want to be a lawyer, for example, just a random, say you want to be a lawyer, there are categorical things that you can do to get there. Like, if you go here and you get that degree, if you study and just cap this, you can literally write it out on how to get here. If you want to be a world champion boxer, you train, you do this, you stay at stick at it. You set goals, yeah. As in, I feel that everything is attainable as long as you want to do it. Like, as in, we can literally write step by step. You do this on a Monday, you do this on a Tuesday, you do this on a Wednesday. You repeat over a period of time, and one day you will become a world champion. One day you will become a lawyer. One day you will become a successful businessman. And I think that's the bit that sometimes people struggle, and this is where I understand people's situations are so different. So luckily for me, so I growing up, I had no financial stability, so that money was a big thing for me. So that was one of my that was one of my obstacles in a way. But thank God I had a loving mum and a loving family. So there's people out there who don't have the financial stability, and they don't have, like, a parent around, and then they don't have a home to live in. Do you know what I mean? So then they're even further back. Do you get what I mean? And then it's tough. So even me just saying, I'll go get confidence, I know sometimes it can feel like, wow, where the fuck am I going to get that from? So I understand that, like, do you know what I mean? Getting that confidence is difficult with the more obstacles that are faced in front of you. Do you know what I mean?
And I think what you're talking about as well, like, you're saying that you didn't have the finance, but I think the fact that you had the love and the family.
That's much, exactly.
And I think there's a lot of people out there that do have the money, but they might not necessarily have
the love. Yeah.
And I think that's kind of part of the reason why we set up is we try and replicate that. That's why with Carney's we're around long-term, consistent, unconditional support. We try and replicate a family where we can provide the young people we're working with that love, care, and support. In turn, they can provide that with others. So you've had that positive mindset, and it just makes me think of one of my favourite quotes, which is, I think it was Ford. You come out of it. It's whether you believe you can or you believe you can't. You're right.
Yeah, 100%.
That's a big thing. But for us, what we often see is people who may have had that self-belief and that mindset, but it's kind of been dragged out of them, and they no longer have it because whether it's a parent or a teacher or the police officer that's told them they're never gonna achieve and they're always gonna be a failure. So I suppose it's what would be your advice for people who are struggling because they've constantly been told they're not able to achieve?
I'll say to those people, you owe it to yourself. Like I think there comes a stage, and it's very sad and it's unfortunate, but there comes a stage where, cool, like life's battered you back so many times. This has happened to you. This has happened to you. You're in this situation, and life has absolutely battered the confidence out of you, and that it's unfortunate and it's sad and it's heartbreaking. And then I always say to those people, you owe it to yourself then, like, because think about it, like everyone's written you off, like that person's told you this, that person's that. So you owe it to yourself to try and figure it out, to try and get some confidence, and to try and make something of yourself.
And I think there's people out there that can support them as well. So
Yeah.
those sort of people. I mean, we're sat in a boxing gym now.
Yeah.
Boxing's like for us, that's a massive reason why we use boxing, because people can set themselves their individual goals, and they can see that they can achieve that, which will boost their confidence, which is just a massive transferable skill into that you can use in loads of other different areas.
Exactly.
So whilst there's a lot of negative people out there that are going to try and beat you down, there's also a lot of positive
100%.
people out there for support. And I mean, every community's got it, every estate's got it, every youth centre, youth club, school, they put people in there, so it's about looking out for them.
Looking out for them 100%, and knowing that like, as you said, there are people out there who are going to support you and will help you and like be on your journey. But I always say, like, it starts with yourself. Do you know what I mean? Like, you gotta
want it.
Yeah, and you just owe it to yourself. Like, I feel like for anyone in that situation, look at your situation and think like, wow, like life's like really tried to like take things out of me and take this confidence from me. So say to yourself, do you know what, like, the least I can do is make something of myself, do you know what I mean? And that's so much that sometimes I don't even like to say it, because I know it's so much easier said than done. Like, I know that some people are in situations that, do you know what I mean, like that they never put themselves in, do you know what I mean? Like, it's other people or whatnot. So I always know it's so much easier to say, oh yeah, go get some confidence, like be something, like all those quotes that you hear, like, and it's like, where the fuck am I meant to get determination from? Where am I meant to get all these, you know, you see all these quotes on Instagram, and like, sometimes I feel like, yeah, that's all great, but there's a reality to people's lives, isn't it? Like, it's all great saying, like, be something of yourself, but flipping, do you know what I mean? You might have lost a parent, or like you're going through this, or you've got like, it's so difficult, do you know what I mean? But I always say, like, you do, like, do you know what I mean? You do.
This is part of the reason why we started up this kind of conversation thing, because we've got people who've been through horrific situations. We've got people that have spent loads of years in prison. We've got people who've been shot, who've been stabbed. We've got people who've been through abuse, but they've managed to get through it because they've been able to develop that mindset. And so the reason we're setting this up is that's what we want other people to see, because actually quite often there are people who come from really bad situations, but I bet you can find someone who's come from an even worse situation. Letting people know about that as well.
100%.
In the past, you've said there's no way you can build anything as one man.
Yeah.
What do you mean by that?
I think anyone who's ever said, yeah, I've done this all by myself, is just lying. You can't, like, life, the way life is set up, like, we're humans, we're creatures of, like, family and community and brotherhood, sisterhood, and that's how we better each other, do you know what I mean? So in my career, if I got a list of all the people who helped me get here, we'll be here for ages, like, so, yeah, understand that it's okay to get help and to, like, assist each other. I think, like I'm still getting, like, even right now, Diff's helping me massively, George, you're helping me massively, do you know what I mean? So I always say, like, you're never too, I don't know, you're never too flipping grown, or like I don't know where it is, you're to get help and be assisted. Like, anyone who you've ever looked at, we see it all the time. You watch a Netflix documentary of someone so inspirational, and then you see 100 other people who, like, helped them along the way. Like, go on Netflix tonight and watch any documentary on anyone who's successful or a legend or inspirational, and the whole basis of the whole spine of the documentary is these key people who helped them along the way. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, man, you can't build alone. So like that one thing, coming where we come from, the ends, estates, like the streets, all we're so used to brotherhood and the man them, and I always say like we need to take all those things that we learn. You know, like a classic one is you got your brother's back no matter what. Like beef, fight, you got his back. Like I'll always got his back. Like that's all great. Like on the roads, like when he's having a fight, cool. Yeah, I get it. Have his back, but when he wants to flipping like do music or become a boxer or have his back then. Like help him study, help him train, like flipping help him focus. You know what I mean? Like so, I always say use all these things that we've learned to do something positive. Like let's not just keep focusing it on the same way you're gonna help your brethren in the trap, like flipping bag up whatever. Help him focus on like a positive thing. Do you know what I mean?
If you're his true friend.
If you're his true friend, yeah, exactly. If he's your true friend, we're all trying to make something of ourselves and be successful. So.
And I think I'm gonna take this quick opportunity just to say we always want more support from people for the young people that we're working with. Like I think I spoke to you about a couple of weeks ago about a guy that told me he was a self-made businessman and made his business out of £20 and didn't get no help from anywhere, and then we found out he lived rent-free at his mum's house, his dad was paying his phone bill and all that sort of stuff. So no one does it on their own. No one at all. Even like, so there's sometimes people see me and they're like, bro, have you done that? You done this thing all by yourself? And I'm like, nah, no, I fucking didn't. Like, not at all. Like, not at all. Like, I could name 15 people off the top of my head who have been key figures in helping me, you know what I mean, become who I've become. So, yeah. So, what would you say your role and purpose is now? Now you've made a success of yourself.
I think my purpose is to. That's another thing. I always say the most important thing in life. Find purpose. More than anything, I think purpose is so, like, it's just like a beautiful thing to have. Like, I think it's all, so a lot of the time people say, I want to become, I want money, I want to become a millionaire, and I say, forget all of that. Of course, that's lovely, of course it is, like, definitely, like one day, definitely, but purpose is way more precious and way more meaningful, and I'm more thankful for the purpose than I am of any money or success or flipping award. Purpose is brilliant because then you know what you're doing. You know what you're doing. Like if your purpose is like, for example, say if your purpose is to be a great boxer, I need to be a great boxer, then of course you'll become world champion one day. That's the side product of your purpose. Your purpose should be, I need to be a great boxer. I need to be the best I can be, and from that, yeah, you'll become world champion. You'll win fights, like just off of the byproduct of your purpose. So I would say my purpose right now is to be the best artist I can be musically, like to be as incredibly, to use everything I've learned up at this point to make beautiful music and incredible music and powerful music. And then also my purpose is to be everything and do everything that I know I can be, and to help people and to be a vessel for everything. And that can sound quite, sometimes when I say it can sound quite like flipping kumbaya, like yes, world peace, like, but not even, so whatever I can do, like in my power and with my influence and my platform, to nurture and help and to further other people's purposes. Like I think that's become my purpose now. Like so, like one of my most proud things is the Murky Books. So we got a publishing company where we publish young writers. So we published a few books now where young writers who may not have had the chance to become published authors. We've set up this publishing company, and then you can write a book, submit it to us. We do a competition every year called the New Writers Prize, and then from that people go on to be best-selling authors. Like, and for me, that I'm so proud of that, because that's just a byproduct of my purpose, where it's like now like I've got this thing running here where people are becoming successes off their own back, and doing book tours and like winning prizes. Like, it's just amazing. So I think that's my purpose now. It's become my purpose. I feel like my purpose has become greater than myself, and like thank God I'm in a position now where I've been blessed, and like I've been blessed, and so yeah, just hopefully in the future I'm just able to do the same for others.
So you've been helped on your way up.
Yeah,
now you're
massively.
putting that back in.
Yeah. That's like that's where I get like the most joy, like where like I'm able to like help someone else fulfill their purpose, because I've managed to fulfill. Do you know what I mean? Musically, I've managed to like kind of cement myself and like become someone, and like now of course I'm 2 albums deep. I've still got a whole career to have, but like along the way, just do things and build things and set up things and fund things and all of that, just to for others.
Do you feel an obligation to help people from similar backgrounds to yours, or people who are struggling? Because like we've seen that you did a lot of work with regards to Grenfell.
Yeah.
I know Mac from Bike Storms, and you've done some
Yeah,
stuff
big
to
up Mac.
support them.
Big up Mac and Bike
so
Storms.
Big up Mac.
That's my guy, man.
So you helped out with them, and you've got some of them performing down in Glastonbury with you, and then you've been coming down helping us with our food packages. You've done the food deliveries, which the young people, people like. So yeah, do you feel is there a sense of obligation where you feel
big obligation. The reason why I say, the reason why I say I feel a big sense of obligation is because I know, and we know more than anyone, that where we come from, it's tougher for us. Like so when I say all these obstacles that we have, people from where I come from, it's tougher for us. Like sometimes the world likes to act like, oh, everyone's got the same opportunity. No, that's a lie. Not everyone has the same opportunity. People coming from where we come from, the estates, the streets, the ends, the hood, wherever we come from, it's tougher for us. There's so many things. We could sit here for we could all tell our story, and there's so many reasons why we do not have the same opportunity and the same privileges as someone who grew up in a middle class family in flipping wherever, like in a suburb somewhere. Like it's easier for them to progress in life than it is for people like myself from where we're from. So me becoming like who I've become, it's like I should never neglect the fact that it's more difficult for people. So whatever I can do to level the playing field, I feel like I'm obliged to do that, innit? I can't turn a blind eye and act like, oh yeah, like I got here from thank God I got here. Like that's why I always say thank God. Like I'm not better than no one else. I'm not smarter than no one. There's so many men who can rap from it. We know so hundreds of rappers. People will say they know 100 rappers that are better than me from the ends, you know what I mean? Or we know talented boxers, talented footballers, all of this, and like a lot of the time they weren't offered the opportunity or given the help that they needed to be on a level playing field. So that's why I feel obliged. Like, and a lot of the time, even in I have this weird thing where I don't even like, genuinely, sometimes I don't like getting like the credit I get for it. Like where it's like, because, and I'm not even saying this because you're here, because me setting up like a scholarship or me flipping doing this is so much easier than you being at Carney's every day with like flipping driving to that house, picking that kid up from the station, you know, like, and literally being there every day in, day out for the past how many years. That's so much tougher than what I do. From where I stand, like, of course, like, thank God I've got the platform in this, so it's easier for me to do things. But I always say like I'm not some flipping I'm not like sort of Nobel Peace Prize winner, innit? Like I'm just doing what I should genuinely do, innit? Like it's like that's what I should do, like as in I should be leveling the playing field from coming from where I come from. If I didn't come from where I come from, yeah, everyone. on. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, if I was from the suburbs and I got there off my parents' back, yeah, I don't need to, but I didn't. Like, where I come from, like, I know that it's tough for us here, innit? Like, and I'm just like the lottery ticket, like, do you know what I mean? So I should do everything in my power to just help level the playing field. And there's people like yourself who do the real work. And people like Mac, I always say to Mac, Mac will say, oh, bruv, and I say, bro, like, it's going to bike storms. I rid round with the kids for one day. It was a great day, beautiful day. I spoke to everyone that was sick. And then from that, I invited the kids, the boys down to the Vossi Bot video shoot. Yeah. Then they came Glasgow, like, and that's like that's easy for me to do. Like that's not a massive like weight on my back. No, that's like it's like and like I got people helping me sort that. Do you know what I mean? And I say what you guys do day in day out, like with the kids, like all day in day in the ends, like. That's you lot are the real superheroes, like, do you know what I mean? That so.
But then the work you put into your career.
Word, innit? Word.
So the work you put into your career has got you to a level where you're an inspiration to other people.
Yeah,
so
thank God, man.
That's gonna happen.
100%, yeah, thank God. And I always know that with the platform I got now was just like, so I always say it all the time, so even like I've got this, there's a song on my album. And I talk about even with the Grenfell thing, for me that's like people and don't think like trust me, of course it is a good thing, it's a great thing, definitely. I'm not trying to totally like flipping undermine the things I've done. Like, I know it's a good thing, but that's like going on stage and doing that. That's 4 bars. I'm at the Brit Awards, like I'm privileged to be there anyway. I'm at the Brit Awards, like go on stage, yeah, flipping Theresa May, but that's a bar, that's a lyric, like, do you know what I mean? Like, compared to there's people who have been fighting for Grenfell day in, day out, like, this ever since, like, big up Karim, like, day in, day out, like, from years, like, from when it happened, and they're in the community every day, like, do you know what I mean? Like, and, I go down to, I've been down to the community a few times, like, since it happened, and, like, I'll go see the kids, and, like, we'll chill with them for a day, or, like, I'll go to the memorial and that beat, but that's like, do you know what I mean? It's not like it's definitely, thank God. I'm not gonna act like it is a lot in it, like, because I know who I've become. It's a lot in it, and it's a great thing. It's definitely. So I'm not trying to, because sometimes I just it's a great thing still in it, but there's even more. There's people who are more legendary in it. There's people who are more working harder in like doing realer work than what I do.
But there's also a lot of people doing a lot less as well.
Exactly. That's why. Yeah. That's why I always say like 100%. Yeah.
So, with lockdown at the moment, have you noticed anything different from lockdown? Do you think society's going to change with regards to? I mean, there's been a massive increase in people who are now signing on for universal credit. There's going to be businesses that are going to be shut down now. Do you think we're going to go through a struggle?
Yeah, I think, and even again, this is why I say like, even where my life is now, like I'm in a privileged position where like it might not affect me massively, like, and I might not see the effects of, but of course, like. This period of time is like a very, very dark and like uncertain. Like uncertain is not even the word. Like I think uncertain is a big understatement. Like it's going to be a very haunting time for people. Like in the aftermath of it. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I think it's going to be tough for a lot of people like to bounce back from. Like, and I think it's going to have like a big effect on like. People with small businesses. This whole time could have completely, do you know what I mean, killed that for them. Like so, yeah. It's. I think once upon a time I kind of thought at the beginning of it I didn't expect it to go, and I thought I thought it was a couple weeks and then we'll be back, like, and now it seems like it's gonna like proper like shake like the next who knows how many years, yeah.
Just wanted to say, obviously, a big thanks because you've been coming down and helping out
Yeah,
Carney's.
yeah.
And just ask you, why Carney's, and what do you think is different around Carney's to...
With Carney's, I think the main thing, many reasons why you lot are incredible down there, but with Carney's, I think the main thing is that a lot of, and this isn't even to this ain't to discredit the work that people do. All youth work, all community work is incredible, at whatever level in it. But I think what separates Carney's from the rest is a lot of the time there's a time limit on schemes. It would be alright, you get this kid in and we're gonna have you for 6 weeks, 4 weeks, 12 weeks, and we're gonna do this step-by-step plan. Whereas the vibe that I get from Carney's is that it's long term. It's not even long term. It's a lifetime. It's a family, and it's a reality. It's not. I'm gonna see you once every week, and we're gonna do a program, and it's like an actual. I'm gonna talk to you, and I'm gonna take you in, and I'm gonna understand your whole situation, and I'm gonna be here for you 24/7. Which is that's like, and that's why I always say people Storms. I say, bruv, what I do is easy. It's easy compared to your Georges and your Marks. It's easy. So, that's the separation. What you don't take people in as family, and they're there for a lifetime. And I'm sure anyone can phone you at any minute. Do you know what I mean? People have their own lives, so. People have their own lives, so when they're dedicating their lives to everyone else's superhero thing, man, that's what I say separates Carney from everyone.